Good morning, students. Today in this class, we are going to make a part of Unit 5, which name is in shape. We are going to see comparatives and superlatives. Okay, to form comparatives and superlatives, we use adjectives. So first of all, we are going to see what an adjective is. An adjective is a word that can modify or describe a noun. Okay, in this case, we have two nouns, which are hat and rabbit, and two adjectives, red and quick. So, we can form and to say the red hat. So, we are describing the hat with the adjective. So we are saying the red hat. The same with the rabbit and quick. The noun is rabbit and the adjective is quick. So we say the quick rabbit. Okay, so we are going to begin with the comparatives. We use comparatives to show, change, or make comparisons. To compare people or things with other people or things. We use than when we want to compare one thing with another. In this case, one person with another, one city with another. And we say, she is 2 years older than me. We are comparing two persons, she and me. New York is much bigger than Boston, so we are comparing New York with Boston. When we want to when we want to describe how something or someone changes, we can use two comparatives with with the word and say, the balloon got bigger and bigger. So that means that the balloon got too big, huge. Everything is getting more and more expensive. So something is getting a lot of expensive. So we are going to see how to form comparatives. We usually add er to one syllable word. One syllable word means that the adjective is short, like old or long. So when it is short, we just add er. And when we add er, it becomes a comparative. Old, the subject, older, the comparative. Long, longer. But what happens if the adjective ends in e? Like in this case, nice and large. It ends in e. So we don't have to add double e and r. We just add an r and it becomes the comparative, nicer and larger. But if an adjective ends in a vowel and a consonant and y, we change I to I and we add er, as I said before. So we have happy and silly. These adjectives end in y. So we change this y to I and we are er, and it becomes happier and sillier. But what happens when the adjective is long, as in this case, careful and interesting? We use more to make comparatives for most two-syllable adjectives. Two-syllable adjectives or three or more syllables means that the adjectives are long, as in this case. We add more at the beginning of the adjectives and than after. And we say more careful than, more interesting than. Now we are going to talk about irregular comparatives. We have three irregular comparatives that we have in the book. Good becomes better. We don't say gooder. It's a mistake to say gooder or badder, which we have to change. We have to be careful to use for good, better, for bad, worse, and for far, further, or further. It's the same. It's correct to use both of these adjectives for comparatives for this adjective. Okay, we have another ones that we have in our book, but we can see for little, less, and least. Less is the comparative and least the superlative. For many, more and most, the same. More is the comparative and most the superlative. Now, we are going to see the superlatives. Okay, for the superlatives, we have to add est to one-syllable words and add d. Okay, so that means that we have one-syllable words like old and long. Old and long are short, so we have to add est. And we say old, the oldest, long, the longest. But if an adjective ends in e, we add just st, as we saw in the comparatives. Nice and large ends in e, so we don't have the necessity to add another e. So we say nice, nicest, large, the largest. We just add st. How to form superlatives? Okay, if an adjective ends in a vowel and a consonant, we double the consonant, okay? In this case, the consonant is G and T, but we have big and fat that are short. So we say the biggest. We are doubling the G. Fat, fattest, the same. We have two T's, two G's. If an adjective ends in a consonant and Y, we change Y to I and add est, the same. Happy and silly are adjectives that end in Y. So we have to change this Y to I and add est. And it becomes the happiest and from silly, the silliest. We use most to make superlatives for most two-syllable adjectives with three or more syllables. That means that we have long adjectives as careful, interesting. They are long, they are not short. So if we see that they are long, we have to add most at the beginning of the adjective. The most careful, the most interesting, because they are long, okay? So, the irregular superlatives are for good, the best, for bad, the worst, for far, the furthest or the furthest. I hope this explanation is going to be okay, but if you have any doubt, we are going to see. We are going to solve all the doubts in the Zoom class that we are going to have this week. Okay? So we are going to see next class. Bye.